zero spending money versus like uh 100K dollar player, there's only the difference is the DPS.
Okay.
You can just play all same content with the whales. It doesn't care anyhow. It doesn't matter.
You can play the same content. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
It's just the DPS performance.
Yeah.
Have you
Interesting.
business with
But
me?
I think that's important to know. As far as if you're free to
Have you
play,
business with
I
me?
honestly think, because again, guys, let's reiterate, this is for PvP.
Faith and arms.
PvP is perfectly balanced. For
Faith and
PvE, as a free to play player that's playing about 5 hours a day, you will be experiencing and completing the same content that
For
the
the
whales will
Empyrean
be.
Lords.
Correct. Gotcha. Okay. Perfect. I think that's a great answer. And of course, I feel like Jadao of all people will be able to really give us the inside scoop here and give us real information on the discussion of how pay to win this game is. We've just heard it. Okay, so you can kind of go on your own. Okay, actually, before I ask this question, so as a free-to-play player, what's the best way to progress? Like, if you're like, hey, I'm totally free to play, what's the best way to actually get your gear up and progress?
I only can say that spending time can upgrade your gears.
So, like, I heard it's like just making a bunch of alt characters and just doing it over and
Faith
over
and
and over
arms.
and over again. Is that true?
Yep, that's right.
Gotcha. To be competitive, though, like, how many alts would you say you need to pull or to play or to...
The
on a
characters,
sec.
all characters.
Yeah,
concentrate.
how many would you say to be competitive as a free-to-play?
Normally, many people play 3 or 4 all characters.
Okay.
With one main character. That's all.
Gotcha. 3 to 4. The more the better, obviously, though, right? Okay, next question. In your opinion, how much and what kind of advantage does paying to win give you? So this is kind of like the same question. Sorry, I should have prepped these questions. So,
Okay.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
just your own satisfaction. It doesn't matter on the raid. You can just enjoy looking at more DPS than free players. That's all.
Right. Is there a DPS meter though in the game?
There's not in game, but only in the DPS room. That-
Oh, gotcha. In the DPS room. Gotcha. All right, perfect. All right, next question is, this is actually the last question. If you were to pay to win, what is the best way to do so?
It's a very hard question.
So we do have people that want to whale out, and a lot of people want to know, okay, I'm ready to throw my money into this game. What do I need to buy? What and of course it's, there's things that are changing on a week-to-week basis, but if you can kind of just give a basic outline, like for example, I don't know, let's say in the cash shop there's an event, like they'll have weekly deals, keep an eye out for those weekly deals and buy them when they sell good stuff. Or maybe it's like, hey, buy, like in BDO, it's like the only way to pay to win is to buy costumes and sell that shit on the marketplace. Like, what would you say is the most effective way to pay to win in this game?
You need to buy all the packages, all the packages stuff in the Lost Ark shop.
Okay.
And also you charge the crystal and you change it to gold.
Gotcha.
And since you get the gold by changing in the trade market, you buy the materials for enhancement, and then you enhance
Ion
with that
has led
gold.
you.
Yeah.
Pretty simple, it seems like. Pretty simple. And by the
Welcome.
shop, do you mean the 마리의 비밀 상점?
Yeah, including the Mary's secret
Including
shop.
Mary's secret
Yeah.
shop. Okay. And then sometimes you'll have some packages like this that come out that
And
might be
you
worth.
can see on the left side the weekly and the monthly stuff.
Gotcha. Now, like for you, like just out of curiosity, feel free to not answer this if you don't want to. But like, are you pretty much buying these every week, like max 3 for 3?
Since I get over 500K every week, 500K of gold every week, over sometimes.
Wow. Okay.
I don't actually need to buy those stuffs anymore because I gain a lot of gold by playing my characters.
By playing the alts. Okay.
So not anymore, but I did
You did, okay. So like now, moving forward, because you have a lot of alt characters set up and you're playing a lot, right? Now, is it possible, like let's say season 4 came out, like next season came out, like the next season, if you didn't pay to win, but you have like all these alts set up and you're making that much money every day, is it possible for you to hit rank 1 or max gear score or something like that? Or no, you're gonna have to swipe again if you want to get that.
It's possible.
It is possible. Okay.
Yep, it's possible.
Okay. So so I just asked him, because he's making over 500,000 gold a day, right? Is it possible to keep up and be in the rankings and be considered a ranker for him now? Like I said, if the new season were to start today and he didn't swipe and he played free to play, but he's, you know, obviously invested into this game enough with all of his alt characters and making all that money per day, like 500k a day, is it possible for him to now go the free to play route and still be considered a ranker? And he said it is possible for him. So that's good to know.
Oh, actually, it's per week.
Per week. Gotcha. Perfect. All right. Well, to be honest, that was all the questions. Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
Conceive, believe, achieve. Shut the f*** up.
And new undisputed UFC middleweight champion of the world.
At the time of printing, I don't know about now.
Oh, shit.
That's the thing about records, Lewis. They're supposed to be broken. They're supposed to be broken. Simple as that. And the only one guy with one eye to win a belt.
You actually truly, in a very, very real way, help further the sport, because you create those records and then everyone else is trying to chase those records. Without there might not be the UFC as we know it today.
That's why I did it. It was not for me. It was for everybody else. But anyway, enough of that. How are you, Lewis? How was your weekend?
How was my weekend? It was okay. I had my son had a sleepover with his buddy, and I don't know, man. I like my kid. I just realized I don't like other kids.
But it's like, they say it's like farts, don't they? You can just about stand your own. You know what I mean? It's so true.
All the other kids stink. I'm like, get out of my fucking house.
Hey, buddy, how you doing? You good? Yeah, get the fuck out and stop making a mess. Lucas has a friend called Isaac. He comes over here. He trashes the place.
Yeah.
Has no respect. I said to him the other day, I said, hey, buddy, if you want to trash a house, trash your own, okay? I said, no more trashing this place.
Like, there's no way my son does that to other people's houses. Like, he doesn't do that. My son doesn't go in and just destroy things and fucking... Yeah. So, but yeah, I get very stressed out for some reason when I have a bunch of kids at my house. It's just really puts me on edge, and I'm not trying to be like an asshole. I gotta get some better help. I really do, because I gotta figure out some like counting methods, some anger management. I gotta get back into it.
Yeah, you can't shout at kids, certainly when they're not your own as well. That doesn't go down too well. For me, as I mentioned at the end of last show on Friday, I went to a wedding at the weekend. My agent there, and my entertainment agent, Mike Stout, and his wife Betty. Congratulations, and I was the officiant. I married them. I am now an official wedding officiant. I am a man of God.
Official officiant?
An official officiant. I don't know how good I did at the weekend. You know what it's like. Everyone says you did great. I don't know if I did. Do you know what I mean? But
well, what happened? Tell me about it. What was the process?
What was the process? Well, process is they asked me if I want to marry them, and I said yes, and then but it's months away, and then right up until when we were doing the podcast on Friday morning, I still hadn't figured it out. Oh God. So I've Googled a ton of stuff. I had to piece it all together. I had to write some words. I had to talk about how they met and tell funny anecdotes about them. But no, what a great honor that somebody asked me to do that. So I thought, yeah, I'll do it. But the only thing, because I'm not nervous, I'm a good public speaker, you know what I mean? It's what I do for a living, for crying out loud. But he's a Hollywood agent, and in attendance was many other Hollywood agents. And I'm like, fuck, I better put on the performance of my lifetime, otherwise they're gonna be like, yeah, we don't know about this guy doing any more acting.
You came like an action star. You fucking somersaulted in. You fucking showed up with a gun in hand.
I don't see I don't see the relevance of what you just said.
Well, you want to just like an audition for an action movie. What do you think, you're going to be marrying people in this movie?
Yeah, but that is not an action role, is it? Fucking marrying someone. I might stand there with the Bible. I don't know what weddings you've been to. Since when is the priest running around with a gun?
No, that's what I'm saying. You're not going to ever be auditioning to play a priest, but you very well could be an action star. So you got to show off your skills a little bit.
Yeah, but showing off my repertoire.
You kick Betty in the head.
And I think I did a good job, but I just, in my mind, I thought I talked too quickly because I always talk too fast. You know what I mean? I'm like, I got to talk, I'm talking about love and relationships.
How did you open it? Give me a little sample of how you opened it.
Oh, I said some good lines. I had some good ones. But then I talked about them and how they met and all the rest of it. And then before we get to the I do's and I say, do you, Mike, take such and such to having to hold and all that stuff. So I told us some stories about their, how they met. And then I said, okay, now, ladies and gentlemen, as they say in my industry, it's time for the main event. Oh, and I got a nice little chuckle from everybody. I was like, we got
so
this.
Cheesy. I hate it.
I'm eating out of the palm of my fucking hand. That's not cheesy. That's great.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Kiss the bride.
No, the hardest part, because obviously I've never done it. The only mistake I made was the rings. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm reading a script in front of me. I've got it all there. I'm reading it, and I'm trying to not look at the script. I'm trying to look at the people and have eye contact and, command the room, even though we were outdoors. But you know what I'm saying? But then they come up with the rings and they put the rings in my hands. And I'm like, I'm pretty clumsy. And there's a microphone and I'm holding a binder with my stuff in. And I'm just reading the stuff. And I'm like, with these rings, I'm like, shit. They're supposed to put the rings on. So I'm like, oh, God, got to back it up a touch, guys. Just put the fucking rings on. Let's go. Come on. You're making a fool out of me here for crying out loud.
No. Did you do the Ace Ventura rewind thing that you're known to do?
I did not know. I didn't feel like it was an appropriate time.
Okay, thank God.
Let's do that. It is a replay. No, I did not. Because it's a funny thing when you're marrying someone, because I looked it up on YouTube and stuff like that. And there's all kinds of videos. And of course, there's tons of wedding officiant videos on there. And I thought, I'll take a look. And they're all like trying to be funny. They're all trying to be funny and they're all trying to make it about them and all the rest of it. I'm like, well, these guys are getting married. I don't want to do it cheesy. You know what I'm saying? So I kept it classy, San Diego. Yeah, I thought I did a good job. Maybe just spoke a little quick.
How about this? All right, let's give them the fans an example, okay? Let's say I'm getting married. Let's say I'm getting married to Harrington. Harrington can be my beautiful wife, my beautiful bride. And I'll tell you right now, I did not wait till my wedding night. I've been fucking...
Harrington's looking a little like a psychotic Sinead O'Connor over there, so okay, right?
I've been throwing it down with Harrington for months. Yes. He's not wearing a white dress. He's wearing a deep, dark purple dress. There's nothing virginal about Mike Harrington. Harrington, is your microphone on?
Yeah, it's on. I'm just not saying anything because I figured, I would let you make the case for being the groom, and then I would make the case for being the groom.
Well, there's never a case for you to be the groom, Harrington. Just an FYI. What is going on? Why do you look different? What's changed about you?
Did you just take over an airport in Afghanistan?
Yeah, man, I'm working with him. I sent him my self tape for recruitment, and we'll see what they say.
All right, Harrington, shut up. Because I'm marrying you, okay? I don't know if you know this, but you just sit there and shut the fuck up. And on the occasion, when I ask you a question, you say, I do or I will, okay? All right, hold on. Let me bring up my little script to ruin it.
Excuse me, that's my wife that you're talking to.
Well, I don't care. I don't care, Mr. Gomez, okay? You hired me, and that's that.
I don't know who you think you fucking are. We're paying you, sir. You work for me.
Dear beloved, we are gathered here today for the joining in holy matrimony of Louis J. Gomez and Michelle Harrington. If anybody here, and I didn't say this, but if anybody here knows of any legal reason why these should not be lawfully wed, please state your case now or forever hold your peace. Brian, come in with something. Anybody?
You can't marry a retard without their guardian's permission.
Well, we don't say the retards. We don't say that. Edit that bit out, please, Brian, in this day and age. But still,
Noted.
I get the point that you're making. Hold on. I lost my part. Wedding rundown. Here we go. Where'd it go? I don't know where it is. Listen, Brian Harrington, do you take Lewis to be your lawful wedded husband?
I do.
Do you plan to cherish him for as long as you both shall live?
I will.
Do you plan to constantly agree with everything that he does and not have an original thought of your own, and to just constantly just be the sycophant that drives everyone crazy around this podcast? Do you promise to always do that?
I do.
So nothing's gonna change.
Do you promise to show up late?
Yeah.
Not have notes in on time.
Do you promise to not have the notes or the ads in our email inbox?
Dinner's 3 hours late every night.
1 minute before we're about to start the show.
When can I kiss the groom?
Oh, you've been thinking about that moment from day one, haven't you? He's like, ooh, I wonder if we get to kiss. Anyway, Harrington, get out of here. Piss off. So, yeah, there you go. Anyway.
Great job, Michael. I'm very impressed.
Oh, fantastic, mate. Fantastic.
I already know the answer to this question, but I'm assuming you've been a best man before.
I don't think I have.
Really?
I've not been a best man? No. I have not, in fact. Have you?
I have one time. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
You know what it is? It's not so much that it's not even a compliment to your personality. It's just because I know there's so many climber assholes in the world that would want you to be their best man just if they casually even knew you.
I don't go to many weddings, to be honest.
Yeah.
I haven't been
I
to
like
many,
the
that's
wedding.
why. Yeah, no, weddings are great. It's a great day. You know, free booze, free food, nice people. Everyone's in a good mood. But yeah, no, never been the best man. Anyway, we got Paddy Pimblett joining us. Paddy the Baddie from Liverpool. He's joining us in 23 minutes. See if he's on time or not. Excited to speak to Paddy. He makes his UFC debut next weekend. Weekend after. September 4th, either way. It was supposed to be in London, now it's in Las Vegas. But before he joins us, should we get into some of this stuff? I mean, all right, listen, I guess we got to get into this first. It's the first note that Harrington puts in there. Everyone's been bombarding me with it on Twitter. I don't really want to go there, but Harrington or Lewis, you want to set this up, I guess, seeing as it's, I don't know, awkward for me to do so.
All right, so Harrington, jump on. You can set this up because people have been tweeting it at everyone. BYM, me, everyone. They're like, oh, is Bisping going to respond? Is Bisping going to respond? So please.
You're gonna make me say this?
Yeah, read it in an Irish accent.
Forget it. I'll do it. Jesus Christ, Harrington. We're trying to keep the show moving along and flowing and going, and like we don't want 12 seconds of dead air. You had your chance, you blew it off the camera. Goodbye. So I get out of bed this morning and I wake up and Callum texts me. He says, hey, check Connor's Twitter. And I'm like, all right, I don't even need to bother because I guarantee he's talking some shit about me on there. Otherwise, Callum wouldn't be saying that. Anyway, I look and I didn't see anything because he deleted it. But then a few people started texting me. DC texted me and a few others. And I forget what the actual quote was. I don't know. He's talking shit. No, because we got on, I think it was last week's show. Because he was talking stuff about DC. And I said, oh, he's got to be careful. You know, DC's a heavyweight. He'll rip him from limb. To which Connor responded with, Bisping is a nobody on Sirius XM. Well, he's a little out of date there. That was 5 years ago. Rushed back to competition after being dropped, strangled, and then get shotgun slept by Gastelum's left hand. Devastating. Even though I collect commission on all his fights, I said to the team to pull the great fight, the Gastelum fight. I knew it was coming. And then there's a bit else as well. There was something else that he said. And everyone's like, oh, you're going to take that mic? You're going to take that mic? It's like, listen, I'm not lowering myself to it. He wants to get on Twitter. He wants to fucking talk shit, whatever. You know, I'm very, very happy in my life, and I don't need to lower myself to that. I do my talking like a man, and if I do tweet something, I stand by it as well. I don't delete it. I'm not saying I've never deleted a tweet. Maybe I delete it because I think, hold on, I didn't word that right, or maybe I was wrong. Do you know what I mean? But if I'm going to tweet something out, baby boy, certainly about someone, number one, have the balls to tag me, and secondly, don't delete it. Stand by your words.
Devil's advocate.
Devil's avocado.
Maybe he regretted it. Maybe he was like, you know what, that was a little out of line. Bisping's a legend. Let me delete this. And hopefully
Cat's
Bisping
out the
doesn't see
bag,
it.
baby boy. Cat's out the bag. Unlucky.
It's too fucking late, McGregor.
Nah, I don't care. It didn't.
It wasn't even like that. Like it was. It wasn't like that venomous. People are freaking out over it. It's like, you know, yeah, you did lose your last two fights.
I couldn't care less. And then he's like, oh yeah, every time he fights, I collect a commission on his fights. Yoink, every time. No, you don't. You have never collected a penny of commission off me, mate. And I'm not going into details, but that's just that. I don't know what's getting deleted quicker. This was going to be my response. I don't know what's getting deleted quicker. Connor's tweets or his legacy. Because they're both disappearing down the fucking pipe. But still, there you go. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to get into it publicly on social media like I'm fucking arguing with some 13-year-old kids on Call of Duty. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm a grown man. I'm a commentator. I'm retired. It's not a good look for the UFC if I'm going back and forth with their biggest star on social media. It's childish, you know. So whatever.
He seems to be very easily goaded into talking shit because like this is just an internet troll. Somebody on Twitter is going, "Hey, did you hear what Bisping said that he's responded to you?" He was like, "Did you hear that Bisping said DC would pull you apart limb by limb?" Which is a fact. The sky is blue.
Not an assumption.
That's not like, it's not even a shitty thing. It's not like you're saying Poirier would pull him apart limb by limb, and it's a guy who's going to fight, who's in his weight class. You're talking about the former heavyweight champion of the world, whose specialty is wrestling. He's a giant fucking bear. Yes, he would tear most men apart limb by limb. So it's not that crazy of a thing, but Connor takes the bait. Some guy's trolling and takes the bait and then responds, and yeah, I don't know. It's I think that
whatever. He just needs to. Hey, just like DC said, he just needs to focus on winning fights because that isn't happening lately. That's the reality of the situation. You know, if he was as good in his fights, he was good on Twitter, then he wouldn't have to come back at people, would he? He wouldn't have to be sending venomous little tweets out in the middle of the night, to which then he needs to delete afterwards. But still, whatever. As I say, it's not a good look for me as a commentator. It's not a good look for the UFC if one of their commentators and their biggest stars going back and forth. I wish you all the best. Good luck with the recovery in your leg, Connor, and just get back in the fucking octagon.
He says
I go on.
Well, did you see that he made other news because he says he's going to return. When he returns, he's going to get a title shot right away?
Well, if Dustin Poirier... Yeah, no, I did see that tweet. He said, what was the news?
I guess he said, I'm a Billy... Hold on. I'm assuming, does he mean billionaire by that? I'm a Billy walking straight into a title shot on my return, and it sickens the bums of this business, which is the real reason these constant disrespectful comments come my way. God bless them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, if Dustin Poirier becomes the champion by then, I would have thought then, yeah, he will get a title shot, because if Dustin beats Charles, again, but if he does, and that's going to be Connor's next fight, I would have assumed. It'd be very interesting if it wasn't. And yeah, he will get a title shot. I mean, there's nothing, I don't see why that would make news, to be honest. That's just logical. But obviously, the big factor is whether or not Dustin is the champ by then. I would assume he would have fought. We talked about it last time, Nate Diaz. He probably ends up fighting Charles at some point. If he wins the belt, Conor fights for the belt. If Dustin doesn't, then he doesn't fight for the belt. Simple as that, because there's no way he's walking in after he's recovered and taking on the champ unless it's not Dustin Poirier.
Yeah, impossible. And I mean, look, we've seen crazier stuff happen. Connor. There's a few guys that are always a fight away from a title shot. Let's get real, right? A little segue here as well. I know that Nick Diaz, they said, was it Kamaru Usman's manager said that if Nick Diaz wins his fight, he's number one contender?
Wow, is that what was said? That's crazy. I mean, listen, God bless. As a champ, you won the biggest fights possible. And I love Nick Diaz. And I was with a guy that kind of represents him at the wedding on Saturday night. So we were talking about Nate and Nick a lot. They're great guys, you know what I mean? And they're entertaining as hell. And it's great to see Nick Diaz back. But if he wins a fight against Robbie Lawler, a fight that he already knocked Robbie Lawler out 17 years ago, and hasn't fought in the octagon for 6 years, right? I'm sorry, that doesn't make you the number one contender. It makes a lot of money for Kamaru Usman, though, because people would want to see Diaz fight for the belt. Simple as that, because he's got this cult figure-ish, and he's got this cult-like following, which is awesome for him, but it doesn't make you the number one contender.
There are those guys, though. Nate, Connor, Nick. I'm trying to think. There's a few guys. Look, Brock Lesnar never comes back. He's one fight away from a title shot. Always. Yeah. Ronda Rousey. There's certain guys, and what you call
John Jones.
What it is. John Jones, exactly. Yeah. And that's just like, it's kind of interesting. I mean, look, there's more money with having a belt around those guys' waists for the UFC than not, right? When those guys are champions, people pay to see them fight, and that's just that. They pay to see them fight either way, but I think you put that belt on them, it adds that much more validity and that much more intrigue. So, yeah, I mean, look, if Nick Diaz beats Robbie Lawler, I could easily see him getting a title shot.
No
Easily.
way. No.
You don't think so?
You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. Listen, the UFC,
same organization that did Chael Sonnen a title shot after 2 losses at 185 at 205 pounds.
There were circumstances around that. Which title fight are you talking about? The one against John Jones?
John Jones, yeah.
Yeah, but didn't Dan Henderson pull out or something? There was I forget the exact details. It was a long time ago, but they were kind of in a pinch. They needed someone.
No, initially, here's what happened. They were in a pinch because I believe Dan Henderson pulled out, and it was going to be like 17 days notice. And Chael was like, "Fuck yeah, I'll come in, and I'll take that fight." And then the public got really intrigued, and John Jones was like, "No, I'm not fighting Chael Sonnen on 17 days notice." And John turned down that fight, and then people started calling John a pussy, and then Chael started talking himself into it and talked himself into the title fight after the fact. They ended up setting up after the fact. So there were circumstances, but the circumstances wasn't much more than public interest.
Yeah, great. And there would be public interest. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. You can sit there and you can spout on about fucking Nick Diaz and Chael Sonnen, and you can give me history lessons in the sport of mixed martial arts that aren't required. But it ain't going to happen. Nick Diaz is awesome. He's great. What has he got? We got a lot to find out against Robbie Lawler. And even then, Robbie Lawler isn't exactly a guy that proves, and I'm not disrespecting Robbie. Robbie's a legend. He's no doubt a Hall of Famer down the line as well once he decides to hang the gloves up. But he's not the gatekeeper to the belt anymore. He was at one stage, but unfortunately he's not now. You know, I don't know what Robbie's doing right now. When was the last time he fought? I forget. It seems like it was a while ago. Yeah, it's been a long time. Yeah, no, listen, I know you love the Diaz brothers. That ain't happening. You're out of your mind. If you think that he beats Robbie Lawler and then gets to fight Kamaru, I mean, no, I'm sorry.
Ali Abdelaziz said this.
Well, Ali's awesome, right? And he's a great guy. I like him. You know what I mean? I got a lot of respect for him. Ali says a lot of things. He says a lot of things. He says Ali's fucking fighting people left, right, and center. He's punching Colby at fucking lines from the buffets. I forget what all the stories were. Ali's, you know, he likes to mix it up. He likes to get in there. He likes to be controversial.
And does he represent Nick?
It's gospel.
No, he represents Kamaru.
Yeah, he represents a lot of them.
So, but here's the point, though. If Kamaru's manager is angling for that, then I think that there's some value there. If it was Nick Diaz's manager saying that, that's a different story. You'd be like, all right, yeah, obviously he's trying to sell this fight. But if Kamaru's manager's angling for it, it means that, yeah, they're trying to get in a fight with Nick Diaz because they know the money that's on the table there. I'll bet you.
No, you're out of your mind. No.
You want to make a bet? Make a bet.
Listen, we don't need to because it's not going to happen. What's happening is, of course, Ali wants that. Why? Because it's an easy title defense with large pay-per-view buys. Do you know what I mean? That is the view that they're taking. I'm not saying my official stance is that would be an easy title defense. Probably would be. Let's be honest. Nick's been out for a long time. You know, you got to come back. You got to find your groove. You got to get your feet wet. You got to get your skills back, get your time and all that shit. But still, that's why Ali's saying that. Do you know what I mean? And it's just a good headline. It's just a good tweet. It's just a good whatever. Take things with a pinch of salt, Lewis. Not everything is fucking granite in stone. It's not etched.
I'm doing very, very, very low sodium right now, trying to get all that water out. Ali also named Leon Edwards as being safe and boring as the reason they want to give a shot to Diaz. Interesting.
Well, Leon has been a little bit like that, to be fair. And I'm not talking shit about Leon. He's a fellow countryman, of course. I think he's a tremendous fighter, but that's kind of been
fair.
It's been the area of criticism for him. You know what I mean? Because he hasn't had a finish. I can't say anything. Not all my fights were finishes. You know what I mean? But you know, he was coasting a little bit even in that Diaz fight. So I understand why he would say that. But still, I think if Leon has another fight, he has to fight for the belt. There's Kamaru. He's fighting Colby. There's Gilbert Burns. There's title fights galore. Nick Diaz. Whilst I love the guy and I can't wait to see him back and really looking forward to it. In fact, that's the next pay-per-view, right? That's just in a couple of weeks.
Is he coming back that soon? When is Nick coming back? That's wild.
It's the next pay-per-view, I believe. What is it, UFC 266? Yeah.
This is a fun fight month, dude. This is a fun month.
Why?
Oh, we had a heavyweight title fight. We have Nick Diaz coming back. We have Tyron Woodley fighting Jake Paul at the end of the month. This is just a fun end of the summer.
Pardon me. It's September. But you're right, the Tyron Woodley Jake Paul thing, that's around the corner. I'm going to be there.
You're going?
In Cleveland. Yeah, I'm covering it for BT Sport. Come out.
A ticket. I will 100% come out. I did invite my entire staff over to my home to watch the fight, but I would ditch all of them in a heartbeat.
Classic Gomez style. Yeah, no, I'm commentating. I'm coming. Yeah, I can try. I can't guarantee it because it just come into my head right now. But I'm sure I'd have grounds to ask for a couple. But I'm covering the fight for BT Sport. So I finished commentating on Saturday 28th. It's fucking annoying. I go straight to the airport, fly to Cleveland to cover the fight for the Sunday night. There's a direct flight on Spirit or Frontier, right? or there's an indirect that can take first class. Spirit or Frontier don't do first class. Well, obviously,
How long? Wait, where are you coming from?
Vegas to Ohio, Cleveland.
3 hours?
4 hours. I can go Spirit or Frontier, which is fucking garbage, right? You get treated like crap, and it's going to take 4 hours, or it can take 8 hours, and I can go first class with the stopover.
Oof.
It's a tough one, right?
You're not paying for it. They're paying for it.
No, exactly. I said, listen, I'll do it. You know, it's in my contract.
Ooh, it's literally just deciding. That's such an annoying thing, because if it was 2.5 hours, it wouldn't even be a debate. Like, all right, Spirit, go. Just get it done. Right? But because it's so long.
It's not that long. 4 hours isn't too bad, but it's long enough to make you regret. But at the end of the day, the flight's almost midnight. I'll have been working all day, would have been commentating all day. So I'll be ready for it now. Ready for a little nappy poo-poo.
Okay, if you can sleep on a plane, I would just do Spirit and say fuck it.
Yeah. Anyway, you never know. I'll see if I can.
It's gonna be. I can't wait till you get caught walking onto a Spirit flight, and everyone's like, "What's going on with Bisping?" It's like when we were staying at the Plaza, when you met me at the Plaza, and you saw.
Times are hard, buddy. Times are hard. It is what it is. You know what I mean? But still, there we go.
Okay, Mike, we should take a moment and thank BetterHelp for helping us out and supporting today's show. They help us out in a better way because they truly are a great service that takes all of the benefits of therapy and meeting with a therapist, and they move it all online. Especially after the pandemic, this became a practice for most therapists. BetterHelp's been doing it for a long time this way, which makes it very easy to be matched up with a therapist because it opens up the entire world to you. There's so many different therapists that are out there that maybe aren't in your city, that maybe don't have the exact schedule that you can go and visit them. Well, BetterHelp matches you with those people in a better way. It's less intimidating and it's less expensive.
Yeah, that's a key thing as well. Certainly for a lot of people, it is cheaper. And listen, whatever you're going through, unfortunately, maybe you've got a bit of depression, you've got anxiety problems, maybe you're depressed, maybe it's addiction issues, who knows what it is. But generally, someone could do with talking to somebody, and to do it in a convenient way where you're going to save some money. Certainly when you're talking to a licensed professional therapist who you can communicate with in under 48 hours, BetterHelp really is a fantastic resource to have at your fingertips. It's not a crisis line. It is not self-help. It is professional counseling done securely online, and BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches, so it's easy and free to switch counselors if need be. You can send a message to your counselor anytime, and you'll get timely and thoughtful responses. So, I don't know what it is that you're going through, but if there's something that happens and it's bad and you need to speak to somebody quickly, you can get that done. Plus, you can schedule weekly video or just phone sessions. So it's the perfect way to do therapy through the pandemic, and you won't have to go back to sitting in an uncomfortable waiting room in the future. Go to betterhelp.com/believe to join over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. New testimonials for users are posted daily. In fact, so many people have been using BetterHelp that they are recruiting additional counselors in all 50 states. So, there you go. I mean, that speaks for itself. But listen, if you've got a problem, speak to somebody. Go to betterhelp.com. BETTER, better, HELP, help, betterhelp.com/believe to get 10% off your first month. One more time, betterhelp.com/believe, 10% off your first month. And who knows? Maybe you'll feel better. Maybe you get over that hump. Maybe you kick that addiction, or maybe you just won't strangle fucking Lewis next time you see him. Whichever one it is, they will help you. All right, where were we? Tyron Woodley, Jake Paul is coming up. That's crazy. What have we got in these notes? Well, we just wait time for Paddy the Baddie. We've got 8 minutes. I saw Ariel Hawani a while ago. He was talking about Paddy Pimblett, saying that the last time he was getting this many requests to interview somebody, talking about Paddy, was when Conor McGregor was making his debut. So there's a lot of hype around this young man. So we'll talk to him shortly and we'll find it all out. I thought this was an interesting story regarding Rose Namajunas, pardon me. Rose Namajunas recently started a fight camp for an unnamed opponent. According to the South China Morning Post, the opponent targeted is Zhang Weili, but Zhang came out and she said, obviously, when she fought Rose Namajunas last time, earlier on in the card, was when Chris Weidman and Uriah Hall fought, and she saw Chris Weidman break his leg, which of course, as we know, is a devastating injury, and it's gruesome and it's scary and all the rest of it. And she said the fighter in my previous fight, talking about Chris, was in the same waiting room as me, which was Weidman. His leg had snapped. We even touched gloves right before he left for the fight, I said good luck, and then I saw his leg snap like that, and I felt like my mind wasn't completely focused on the match. I wasn't as focused. You can't lose focus for even 0.01 seconds. No, it's that cruel. And it's an interesting one because I agree and I disagree at the same time, because she's absolutely right. You do have to stay supremely focused. You can't drift, and that is one of the hard parts about being in a fight, because there's so many distractions. Certainly when there's a crowd of 20,000 people there and they're all screaming, and there's ring girls walking around, and there's fucking the klaxons and the buzzers, and there's big crowd and the referee, and there's people there in the front row, and maybe the celebrities, and there's a lot going on, you know what I mean? But you've got to stay dialed in on your opponent the entire time, and it is hard. So I get that. You do have to stay focused. You know, and then when you are in the room as well, this is an interesting one. I don't think we've talked about this. When you're the main event, generally most of the time you get your own locker room. But if you're lower down on the card, you know, there's not enough locker rooms for everybody to have their own locker room. So they'll put some of the red corner guys in with the other red corners, and the blue corner share with the other blue corners. You know, and you want, when you're in that locker room, and I've been there many times, you know what I mean? You're in there, and there's 3 or 4 other guys in the same locker room as you, and they go, or girls, pardon me, and they go out for the fight, and they win, and they come back in. And me and Perilla were like, oh yeah, this room's getting good karma. We get it. This room's full of fucking winners. You know what I mean? And before they walk out, as she said, she gave Wyman a fist bump. Good luck. And the whole room, everyone claps, and all the cornermen and everything. You're all there, and they go out for the fight. And you're hitting the pads and shit, and then you stop and you glance up at the monitor and say, ooh, he's not doing so good. And then all of a sudden you see the motherfucker get his leg snapped. You know what I mean? And then, you know, so maybe that would throw you off mentally. What do you think?
Yeah, it would fight through. I watched it from home and it threw me off mentally. I couldn't think right for a week. That was awful. The whole thing was awful. It would definitely fuck with your head. It reminds you how dangerous the sport is in a very, very real way. I think people forget sometimes, even with the blood and all that other stuff, you just forget. They walk out of the cage, they get knocked out, whatever it is. You literally move on as a fan emotionally like that. Even if you're a big fan of the guy who just got knocked out and is bleeding, his head gashed open, whatever it is, you move on from it very quickly and you move on to the next fight. You go, all right, cool, who's up next on the cards? And it's like that person is dealing with maybe lifetime of injuries for the rest of their life, whatever it is. They broke their arm, and I think with as brutal of the injury as Weidman's was, it reminds everyone that this is a very, very, very dangerous sport, and it should be taken very, very seriously. And yeah, it scared the fuck out of me, dude. I got a fight coming up in 2 months, and I think about that all the time. It's just horrifying.
Not that I'm a superstitious guy either, regarding what I was talking about before, because sometimes you're there that, oh, this room's got good karma, you know what I mean? Everyone's winning, and then you go out there and you lose, which has happened. And I've had it the flip side, where everyone's losing their fights, and then it's like, okay, well, it's up to me to fucking get a win for this room, you know what I mean? It's a weird thing, but that'd be great. I'd love to see Zhang Weili and Rose Namajunas go at it again, although I don't think that should be the next fight. There's a few people out there that are doing very well. There's EuroAion Jacek. She needs... EuroAion Jacek lives a great life these days. I don't know if you follow her on Instagram. She's always like doing fashion shoots and stuff like that, and she's living a very, very cushy lifestyle, which she should be. She was the strawweight queen for a long time. Who else we got? There's what's her face, Carla Esparza. She's been creeping up the ranks a little bit silently, taking people out, so she's there. And Zhang Weili, I thought she was a great champion. Obviously, I had that fight with Jan Jacek. I would love to see a rematch of that. I would love to see her and Rose go at it again. But I just think anytime you get knocked out cold with a head kick in the first round, it's kind of hard to sell that rematch. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Paddy the Baddy, what do you reckon? We've got 3 minutes. You think this guy shows up on time? He's a scouser. He's mates with Darren Till.
I think he's going to show up on time. I think you're a legend, Bisping, and I think that he would never disrespect the name of Michael Bisping and show up even 1 minute late. I think 1 minute late speaks volumes to how little respect he has for you. So,
well, you're putting him under pressure right now because the clock is ticking down, baby boy. How many? What is it? 2:57. You got 270 seconds, Paddy, and then that's it. You're dead to me.
Let me do plugs real quick while we take a moment. You guys love the show. Please go to subscribe to our iTunes. Leave us a 5-star rating, a positive review. We love the great reviews. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is growing tremendously. YouTube channel is crushing it, guys. I think we're at like 150,000 subscribers now. Also, subscribe to Michael Bisping's personal YouTube channel, where he's doing Bisping breakdowns of everything from MMA fights and all the this and that, and a lot of stuff that you get from his Instagram as well. Also, if you guys love the show, you can get the entire on-demand library, all the shows that we've ever done in one place, all ad-free and uncensored, all at gasdigitalnetwork.com. Make sure you use the promo code BYM. Get a 7-day free trial. You get instant access to everything, and you save $150 a month. You decide to stay on for the premium service. Got a couple live dates coming up. LewisofSkanks.com is the website. I'll be in Connecticut, going out to California again sometime soon. And we got tickets left for Tales from the Octagon, evening with Michael Bisping. Please, Bisping, let them know about which cities we have left.
myticket.co.uk is the link. Dublin 100% sold out, so thank you very much. But Manchester, Glasgow, London, and Birmingham, still some tickets available. It's going to be a lot of fun. We've got some big surprises lined up. Been working on the production side of things. It's going to be good. You don't want to miss out. It's going to be good. So yeah, myticket.co.uk. But still, as of right now, Lewis, oh my God, Paddy, the countdown is on. 2:59. You said he's not going to be late. I don't know. I think he's. I don't know. He says he's very familiar with the StreamYard, though. That's the program that we use, as you know, but the listeners don't. He said, "What is it, Mike? Is it a Zoom or a Skype or something?" I said, "No, mate, it's a StreamYard." He said, "Oh yeah, no, I know that one, mate. No problem, lad. I'll be on the laptop, so it's a better quality, you know." All right, we'll just fucking never mind the quality. Show up on time. But still, we're getting ahead of ourselves because he's not actually late yet. Got a lot to get into. Sean O'Malley looks like he may have an opponent. We'll talk about that. Looking like Frankie Edgar from what we're hearing. Also came out with some kind of not controversial statement, but he kind of like backed up why he didn't really want to fight higher ranked people right now. But we'll get into all that in a little bit. We'll probably do some of your questions as well. But we didn't have any fights at the weekend to break down. So there's no reports or reviews, if you will. We got Cyril Gane talking about Francis Ngannou. We got Khabib, who's reportedly signed the contract with third-tier Russian FC Legion Dynamo. And look at that, on the dot.
Right on time.
The dot.
Wow.
On time.
What's happening, Paddy?
I'm good. What's going down?
Good to meet you, mate. Good to meet you. I've heard your name for a long, long time. Finally, we get to say hello to one another. Thank you for being on the show. Great to meet you. As I said, this is Luis J. Gomez, my co-host, and welcome to the Believe You Me podcast.
Patty, what's up, kid? So just so you know, we were putting you because we had another British fighter, Leon Edwards, has no respect for Michael Bisping and has made plans to come on the show multiple times and just doesn't show up. So we were putting you against the clock. So if you were 1 minute late, you were dead to Bisping, and you made it right on time.
Yeah, it's not something I'm known for, like my punctuality. I get moaned at by Paul quite a bit, but you know, I've made it. When it's 11 o'clock at night, you can't not be on time, can you?
Yeah, well, no, that's it. No, I appreciate it, Paddy, because I know you got a big fight coming up. You got your UFC debut, and yeah, no, it's late for you there, so I appreciate it, mate. How's training camp and all that good stuff going, and how you feeling coming into this one?
I feel great, to be honest. I just can't wait to put on a show for everyone. As you said, this has been a long time coming. I got offered the first UFC contract 5 years ago, and then got offered to fight again in the Echo Arena 3 years ago. But everything's happened at the right time. I just, as I say, I can't wait to put on a show for everyone. I got asked by someone today, "You're nervous?" and I'm not, because I know what I'm going to do. I know I'm going to turn up, fuck shit up, and get off.
So you were saying you were offered UFC fights in the past. Why did you turn those fights down in the past?
Well, the first time when I got offered the contract, I was only 21. I just won the belt on Cage Warriors, and Cage Warriors offered me a bumper new deal, which I would have been stupid to turn down. That contract what Cage Warriors gave me 5 years ago, I got more money then than the contract I'm getting now for the UFC.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So
fucking hell. Cage Warriors has come a long way. Fucking weren't paying me that kind of money back when I was the champ. Cheap bastards.
I was filling that Echo Arena out, lad. I was putting money in pockets.
Mate, I was filling fucking stadiums when you weren't even born yet, so shut the fuck up, Paddy. Talking of which, you first came onto my radar when you were talking a little bit of shit a few years ago.
I was waiting for this.
You're good, mate. You're good. Come on, I got a sense of humour. Go on.
No, what you said the other day was spot on, though, because you said it. I think you said to Till when you said, "I'm the first, and I'll always be the first." And you're right. I remember saying years ago, "No, I don't want Bisping to win it because I want to be the first."
Yeah.
Saying that, but that's what it is. You're the first. And
yeah, no, I'm only busting your balls, mate.
If I become double champ, you'll still always be the first who done it. You know what I mean? So.
Hey, good for you, man. And I hope you do go out there and become double champ. Really do. I always support everyone from the UK. So obviously, we don't know each other, Paddy. First we've spoke. Tell us about yourself.
I'm just a young lad from Eighton, Liverpool, lad. Started doing MMA when I was 15 and my life changed.
What was your background? Did we literally just started with MMA?
Yeah, I done about 6 weeks of boxing when I was like 12. That's it. Never done anything else.
Were you a tough kid? Were you get into like a lot of street fights?
No, not really. I had like a few fights in year 7. That's about it. In first year seniors, that's about it. Know what I mean? I've got a brother who's 5 years older than me, and we used to fight all the time, so I could take a beating. That's what I was good at, taking a beating. And then I walked into Next Generation. I know the date, 20th of January 2010, and I just started training, and then I got into it. Know what I mean? I got my blue belt about 8 months later, something like that, and it come up on my time off yesterday, actually, an app on my phone 11 years ago. 2 days ago, I won my first ever tournament, ground control. I won the kids division when I was 15. Got a picture of me and my dad there. Oh, it's just crazy looking back now.
How old are you, Paddy?
I'm 26.
26. That's a perfect age, to be honest. So how many I was looking at your record before, but I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'm sure you do. What is your record? You've had a fair few fights now, right?
Yeah, I was 9-0 as an amateur, and then I went pro when I was 17, and I'm 16-3 as a pro.
9-0 as an amateur. See, that's so important. I say it to everybody all the time, because you know what it's like, Paddy. Everyone wants to be a fighter these days. They see it on TV. They think it's cool. There's money to be earned, so they rush into it. But you got to have that amateur career, whether it's actual amateur MMA or just like any kind of martial art tournaments, because that's how you learn. And unfortunately for you, you went 9-0, but some people, they don't win them all. And you want to do that in the amateur ranks, because as soon as you turn professional and you start losing fights, you kind of screw, because that's on there forever. So that is that's the best way to get into the professional ranks, if you ask me.
I always say to the amateurs in our gym now, I wish I would have lost when I was an amateur. It lights a fire under your ass. It makes you realise that you're not as good as you think you are. Because when you go now amateur, and then when you're in your first 4 pro fights, you're thinking, I'm the boy here, no one can beat me. And then obviously I eventually lost, and it proper lit a fire under my ass. It made everything a lot different.
Lewis, is that you at your end, or is that you, Paddy?
No, we don't have a phone here.
So me and Lewis, we have like a little, it's not that secret, we have a little code, like we just give a little finger, me and Dave got the next question, and he just gave me that. He gave me the finger, I'll get the next question, but then his fucking phone starts ringing. So I just crack on with that, mate. A lot of people are there he is, he's coming on the other side.
There we
as
go,
well.
I'm back. Sorry, guys, I
What
apologize.
was going on, Lewis?
That's my house line was going off as a fucking telemarketer or whatever. All right, so no, I wanted to ask you something. I thought this was kind of interesting, because you were saying how you turned down your earlier contract. They gave you a better contract. What do you think is the difference in you today than versus you 5 years ago? Like, what are some tools you've learned in the past 5 years that you think are going to make you more ready for this UFC debut right now?
Well, my striking's just a different level now. Like, if the Paddy the Baddy of 5 years ago fought the Paddy the Baddy of today, he gets knocked out in the first round. Simple as that. Know what I mean? My grappling's always been my strong point. Even when I was younger, I've always had good jiu-jitsu. I think 5 years ago, I might have still been a purple belt, but I could have been a brown belt by then. I think I may have been a brown. Yeah, I was a brown belt by then, but now obviously I'm a black belt. My jiu-jitsu's improved, my wrestling's improved, and the big difference, to be honest, apart from just the striking, is me physique. I'm a man now. Back then, I won that Cage Warriors world title without doing any sort of strength and conditioning. I didn't lift any weights at all, and I won a world title. It's pretty crazy, to be honest. And I was out partying every weekend, so I've done a lot of maturing.
Yeah, that happens. It's par for the course. Is this your first time fighting outside of England?
No, I fought in Ireland once in on Cage Warriors, but yeah, that's only going to be my second time fighting out of England.
So first time in the States, Las Vegas, UFC Apex. No, well, there's a little bit of a crowd these days. You know, now they're letting in vaccinated people and all that shit. So it's not exactly the MGM, but there's a crowd there. There's a little bit of an atmosphere. What are you expecting for it? Are you excited?
Oh, I can't wait. Literally, I cannot wait. I'll be honest, I did want it to be in London. I wanted the home.
That would have been amazing.
Would have been unbelievable when my walkout comes on. It would have been. Oh, it would have went off.
What song do you come out to?
I was just about to ask the same thing.
It's Lethal Industry by Sonny D. James and Ryan Marciano, but it cuts into Heads Will Roll, the 8-track remix.
Okay.
One of my mates, Ann Chandler, made it for me, and I've been using it ever since then.
Lethal Industry, is that like a bit drum and bass? Am I thinking of the right stuff there?
It's house. I think it's a Tiesto song, but Sonny James and Ryan